Teachers tell you they are gifted. They pick things up quickly, often faster than other children their age. Sometimes they surprise adults with how easily they understand complex ideas. At school, they seem capable. They participate when they want to. They score well on tests when they try. They show flashes of brilliance that make you feel proud and hopeful. But at home, the picture looks very different. Homework becomes a battle. They procrastinate for hours. They avoid starting tasks they clearly understand. And when something feels difficult, they shut down almost instantly. You sit next to them and encourage them. You explain again. You try to stay patient. They sigh, stare at the paper, and finally say, "I don't want to." And slowly, quietly, a painful question begins to form in your mind. Why does my gifted child seem so lazy? That question hurts more than you want to admit, because you love your child deeply, and because you know what they are capable of when things go well. But what if that word, lazy, is pointing you in the wrong direction? What if what looks like laziness is actually a child trying very hard to protect themselves? Before we talk about gifted children, we need to pause and talk about parents. If you feel frustrated, exhausted, or confused, you are not alone. If you feel guilty for being impatient sometimes, that does not make you a bad parent. And if you worry late at night about whether you are doing enough or doing it wrong, that worry comes from care, not failure. Most parents of gifted children are not angry. They are afraid. Afraid their child is wasting their potential. Afraid they will fall behind later in life. Afraid that the world will not be kind to a child who gives up easily. And afraid that they themselves are missing something important. Many parents carry an even quieter fear that they rarely say out loud. What if this is my fault? So let me say this clearly and slowly. You are not failing. You are responding to a situation that is far more complex than it looks. And you are doing the best you can with the understanding you have right now. Gifted children often don't tell parents of gifted children. Gifted children often succeed before they ever learn how to struggle. In the early years, things feel easy. They understand lessons quickly. They finish tasks faster than their peers. They receive praise for being smart, capable, or advanced. Because of this, effort never becomes part of their identity. Success does. Being the smart one becomes who they are, and without anyone realizing it, their sense of safety becomes tied to always getting things right. Then one day, something changes. The work becomes harder. The answers are no longer obvious. The challenge requires sustained effort instead of instant understanding. And inside their brain, a warning signal appears. This feels dangerous. Because effort now carries risk. Risk of failing, risk of disappointing parents or teachers, risk of discovering that maybe they are not as smart as everyone believes. So instead of trying and possibly failing, many gifted children choose what feels safer. They stop trying. From the outside, this looks like laziness or lack of motivation. From the inside, it feels like self-protection. To understand this better, we need to step inside the emotional world of a gifted child. First, there is fear of failure. For many gifted children, failure does not feel temporary. It does not feel like I made a mistake. It feels like something is wrong with me. Second, there is perfectionism. If they cannot do something perfectly, starting feels overwhelming. Trying means exposing themselves to judgment, even if no one is judging them. So they would rather be seen as someone who did not try than someone who tried and failed. Third, there is emotional intensity. Gifted children often experience emotions more deeply than we expect, but their emotional regulation skills are still developing. So frustration turns into shutdown, overwhelm turns into avoidance, and anxiety turns into resistance. What looks like defiance or laziness is often a nervous system under stress. Let me tell you a story many parents quietly recognize. A child who learns quickly, who finishes tests early, who hears again and again how smart they are. Then one day, the work becomes harder. The child starts avoiding schoolwork. They say they are bored. They say they do not care anymore. But what they are really saying is something they cannot yet put into words. I do not know how to try when I might fail. No one ever taught them how to struggle safely. No one showed them that effort does not threaten who they are. So they protect themselves the only way they know how. They stop trying. Not because they lack motivation, but because they are afraid of losing the version of themselves that everyone praised. As gifted children grow older, this pattern does not disappear. It simply changes its shape. In elementary school, it looks like avoiding homework. In middle school, it looks like procrastination and sudden drops in performance. In high school, it can look like burnout, anxiety, or complete disengagement. Many gifted teenagers do not fail because they are incapable. They fail because trying feels emotionally unsafe. And by adulthood, many of them carry a quiet belief into their lives. If something is hard, it means I am not meant for it. That belief does not start in adulthood. It begins in childhood, when effort became something to fear. When motivation disappears, many parents naturally turn to rewards or consequences, stickers, extra screen time, punishments, more pressure. Sometimes these strategies work, but only briefly. For gifted children, external pressure often makes the problem worse. Rewards teach them to perform instead of engage. Punishments teach them that struggling is unacceptable. Slowly, learning stops being about curiosity or growth. It becomes about survival and self-protection. A gifted child under pressure does not ask, "What can I learn from this?" They ask, "How do I avoid feeling bad about myself?" Many parents ask an important question: what should I say in the moment when my gifted child shuts down? In those moments, logic rarely helps. Advice rarely helps. What helps is emotional safety. Instead of saying, "You can do this, just try harder," you might say, "I can see this feels hard right now." Instead of saying, "You are so smart, you should not struggle," you might say, "Struggling does not mean anything is wrong with you." These small shifts send a powerful message. I do not lose your love when I struggle. And that message does more to rebuild motivation than pressure ever could. So, what actually helps motivation grow over time? First, shift praise from identity to process. Praise effort, persistence, curiosity, and courage. Help your child see that trying matters more than being right. Second, normalize mistakes at home. Let your child see you fail, recover, and try again without shame. Show them that mistakes are part of being human. Third, make home a safe place, not a testing place, not a place where their worth is measured, but a place where they can rest and recover. Motivation does not grow in pressure. It grows where fear slowly disappears. And fear disappears when a child feels accepted, even when they struggle. Many gifted children grow up wishing their parents understood one simple thing: I do not need you to push me harder. I need you to believe in me when things are hard. They are not asking for lower expectations. They are asking for safer expectations. Expectations that say, you matter even when this is difficult. When a child feels emotionally safe, motivation does not need to be forced. It returns naturally, in its own time. They are carrying expectations they do not yet know how to manage. They are learning how to navigate effort, fear, and identity all at once. Sometimes the most gifted children do not need more pressure. They need more safety, patience, and understanding. And very often, healing a child's motivation begins not by pushing them harder, but by softening the space around them. If this video helped you see your child differently, you are not alone, and neither is your child.